Hello again, I am Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Welcome back. Today, I've got a video for you in the Premium Tier 6 Royal Navy Battleship, HMS Nelson. And now this video is nothing quite as spectacular as the last video I did on the Nelson, which, by the way, thank you, Wargaming, for featuring that video on the World of Warships Legends Facebook page and for tweeting out the link that really bumped up the views on that video and got me a significant amount of subscribers. I'm now over 100, I think 119 at the recording of this audio, so that's great. I really appreciate you guys subscribing. I hope I continue to attract more subscribers because I'd like to get, enough subscribers to start doing some bigger and better things with these videos, but that's neither here nor there. This video is mostly about the Nelson's armor. This is something I've been thinking about since I got the ship. It's a rather squishy battleship, and I've seen a lot of complaints on social media between the Facebook group for this game and the subreddit, etc. A lot of complaints that either this ship is too overpowered, or it's too underpowered, or it's too squishy. Neither of those complaints, when they're made in the way that I'm going to describe them here, I don't really regard either those two types of complaints as necessarily valid. I mean, you can have your own opinion, but opinions are evaluation of facts, and facts are what they are, so I don't want to offend anybody by telling them their opinion on the overpowered or underpowered nature of the Nelson is incorrect, people are saying that the Nelson is overpowered because its HE shells are so fantastic. It's true, it does have, I think, possibly the best HE shells in the game, certainly the best HE shells at the tier. They do 6,900 base damage, and they have a 46% chance to start fire. And I saw one comment that described this ship, because of those shell characteristics, as a mindless HE spammer. No, it is not. The guns take forever to reload. They take 30 seconds. It's not like you can be pumping out HE shot after HE shot. You gotta wait quite a while. And the ship is pretty squishy, which leads into the underpowered nature of the ship. It's got 25 millimeters of bow armor. I think it might have 25 millimeters all around, including on the deck, which I believe makes it quite susceptible to HE spam itself. The ship seems to catch on fire quite a bit, and it seems to take a lot of damage from HE shells fired by cruisers. Maybe not. Maybe it just seems that way to me. I don't know. But the armor is really what I want to talk about here. And specifically, I want to talk about overmatch mechanics and how to protect this ship. And this is not a very spectacular battle, but there's the next sequence coming up here between me and the Iowa that's out there is going to be illustrative of overmatch mechanics and armor angling and all that. So what are overmatch mechanics, though? Overmatch happens when the shell caliber of the ship that is shooting at you is greater than the thickness of your armor times 14.3, which seems to be the magic number. So the Nelson has 25 millimeters bow armor. 25 times 14.3 equals 357.5, round that up to 358. So that means any battleship with a shell caliber greater than 358 millimeters can overmatch the bow. So those ships include, obviously, everything at Tier 7, the Iowa, the Amagi, the Alabama, all of which have 406 or 410 millimeter guns. Also the Tier 6 Colorado and the Tier 6 Nagato. But, of course, because the Colorado has 406 millimeter guns, Nagato 410, you know that. Anyway, that also, though, includes anything with 380 millimeter guns, which are also found at Tier 6 and 7, such as the Jean Bart, the Richelieu, the Tirpitz, the Bismarck, the Vanguard, and the Gneisenau. The only ones that actually can't do it at Tier 6 are the King George V, the Lion, and the Scharnhorst. And, of course, you do need to watch out for certain Tier 5 battleships. The Warspite, Queen Elizabeth, and Bayern can all overmatch with their 380 or 381 millimeter guns. The Fuso and the New Mexico at 356 are just below that threshold, and of course the Normandy with 340 millimeter guns is well below it too. So these shells from all of these ships can overmatch your armor, but that doesn't mean you can't angle against them. And here we are. You see one of the shells that the Iowa sent at us there bounced. And you'll notice that I'm at a pretty steep angle compared to where he's at. I think the sweet spot is right before that third turret is clear. So right about here seems to be the sweet spot. And even in Iowa, with its 16-inch guns, if it shoots at you and hits you in the belt armor, there's a chance, pretty good chance, that its shells are going to bounce or shatter. Now that shell there did pen. I'm not sure exactly where it penned. It looked like it went really low. I can't really tell. It might have penned the upper belt armor. Not sure exactly. But occasionally you are going to take some damage from the shells. That's just the nature. And of course that one, it looks like it pens right through the deck, and it does about 8K. So that's going to happen, especially at long ranges like this. But any of these shells that hit the armor in just the right place, you see those ones there, except for the one that hit the superstructure, they shattered or they bounced. So it is possible, as long as you angle correctly, to bounce or shatter shells from 16-inch guns, and of course from the 380 millimeter guns and all that other stuff. So that's what you need to do. When you angle your armor, what happens is it increases the thickness of the armor, it increases the amount of armor that the shell has to penetrate. And you can think, if you get like a rectangle, square thing of foam in like a package you're going to get delivered from Amazon, say it's about an inch thick, I don't know, you could take a toothpick to that foam and you could plunge it, right through the foam, and it'd come out the other side. And you can think of that foam as armor on a ship and that toothpick as a shell. You push it straight through the foam, comes out the other side. But if you angle the foam and you come at it with the toothpick at an angle, like a diagonal 45-degree angle, and you get the toothpick going into the foam at that 45-degree angle, it's probably not going to come out the other side. It's going to have a lot more foam to travel through because the foam is angled. So angling actually increases the armor thickness, and there are certain angles at which shells coming at your armor will just automatically bounce. That's just part of the game mechanics. So angling in all battleships is important, but especially in the Nelson. And you'll notice I have 3 heels on the Nelson. I've switched to Charles. I don't know why I was calling him Richard, but I was Charles Madden, so I can get that 3rd heel. And I am not using the Brawler skill. I am instead using the other skill that reduces the fire chance, because I don't think you want to reduce the range of the guns on this ship by quite the amount that the Brawler skill reduces them if you can help it. So that's a little bit about my build. I think this might be the optimum build for the Nelson. As long as you're angling your armor correctly, you're going to bounce quite a few shots, you're going to shatter quite a few shots, and those that you don't bounce or shatter, the ones that actually do damage, it's going to be okay, because you got the super monster heel of the Nelson. You can just get the vast majority of that back. And we're about done here with our engagement with the Iowa. We've taken most of the damage we've done this game has been on that Iowa. So we've done, 70, 60-ish thousand, in that range, damage on that Iowa. He's been firing back at us, and after using the heel and bouncing quite a few of his shots, we've lost less than 10,000 hit points. That's kind of what you need to do. This Nelson is very good at taking damage and coming back from it, thanks to its heel. So angling, getting other battleships and other ships to shoot at you, taking that damage, healing it back, putting out HE salvos or AP salvos depending on the angle of your target. That's what you need to do in this ship, and hopefully you find this at least somewhat helpful in playing the Nelson. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel. Got a lot of World of Warships content coming all the time. I really appreciate all the subscriptions that I've been getting, and I hope I continue to get more. So thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. It makes it fun for me. Hopefully this is fun for you to watch them. Well, thanks, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.